Hey there, y'all. Welcome to another Paint Party live stream. So glad you've joined me this evening. I am so excited to get started this evening. Some days are just kind of like, oh, I love doing this all the time, but sometimes you're just busy and I'm running up here at the last minute and things are crazy. But I have been waiting for the last several hours, super excited to paint this evening. So I'm so glad that you are joining me. If you've joined before, you know the routine. You can chime in anywhere that you watch the live stream. It is really informal. You can comment on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, wherever you are, and join the conversation. Or you can just sit and watch. Pop in, pop out. It's kind of like open house. A little over a year ago, I started teaching myself to paint using YouTube tutorials. And so each week now I have been painting on a live stream. And so many of you have got to watch my journey as I've progressed and improved over time. I just realized this is our 45th live stream, y'all. It's been over a year since I started this, but I had about 3 to 6 months off, probably about 3 months more like when the robbery happened this summer where I wasn't live streaming. I had to replace some equipment and deal with that. So that's why we're not quite at 52 weeks yet. But I expect that we will get a full year of live streams under our belt before the end of the year. That's the intention, at least. We will see how it goes. We have, well, maybe not, because we have what, 6 weeks left in the. It'll be pretty close. We may get to 50. But yeah, that's going to be a milestone, so I'm excited for that. Hi, Lola. I see you here. So glad to have you, as always, as a steady viewer and watcher and supporter. You were the first viewer outside of my immediate friends and family who joined the live stream, and I'm so glad to have you, especially because you're an artist and you kind of know these ropes and you understand the obstacles that I'm experiencing and have been an invaluable contributor to the live stream. So let's see. All right, I see a few more people coming in. Welcome, welcome. So glad to have you. When I look off camera, my computer's over here. What I really need to do is figure out some way to have my computer where it's more in line with the camera, but I'm moving this camera around as I go to the canvas. So let me get us set up for this evening. Turning on the reference photo. This is the photo we're going to work from this evening. It is a beautiful kind of cloudy picture from the Highlands of Scotland. So it's a beautiful picture to attempt this evening. And so you'll see that in the left-hand corner or the right-hand corner of your screen, and you can follow along as I paint this evening. So let's jump right in and get started here. Let me pull up my chair, my stool, and we will get going. I did treat, let me move y'all closer to the canvas. I did do a quick treatment on the canvas. I just did a layer of burnt sienna and light burnt sienna because this image is so almost, it's not monochromatic, but it's very it's kind of a lot of one color. So I wanted kind of a good base to start off with. Okay, we are gonna have to shrink this up a little bit. So let me put this. I wonder, would it be better for y'all if I put it in this corner? I think maybe that might be better. We'll see. I don't want what I'm doing on the camera or on the canvas to be blocked, but kind of either place we put it. Well, maybe I'll move it back up there. And I can move this. Yeah, there we go. Maybe we'll do that. It's a little bit crooked, but not crooked, but we'll see. Okay, so excited to get started. This one I think is going to be a challenge. Remind me at the end of the live stream to show you some of the additional lighthouse paintings I did. I did some more this week, so those coasters are turning out well. Now I just need to get I just need to figure out a coating that's going to preserve the painting and also going to allow me to use them every day. So, all right, excited. Let's get started. I want to kind of just start with a quick sketch, actually, and then block in. So I'm just going to put some burnt sienna here. We'll do a quick sketch, and then we'll do some and then we'll block in. So this way we can kind of get our composition laid out. If I do a quick sketch and then I don't like something, then I can make adjustments as I do the block in, but this will help me. So I'm just going to do a light, a little bit darker than the undercoat, put a little bit more of the brown in, just do some here. So I think I want the main part of the painting to be the as it is on the thing, the lake. So we'll kind of put the lake in. And this is actually a stretch canvas. A lot of times I'll work on a canvas panel, so this will be a little bit different. We'll see if that works. And then go out there. This will look a little off to you all because it is a little bit sideways, a little bit crooked, but it'll give the idea. I want these to be kind of the focal point. So I may recede these back, this side back into the background more than it is in the painting. We'll see how it lays out, how it plans out. Then we'll have some mountains in there. Yeah, we'll see. And then our clouds. Okay, so we have a basic sketch. I think that works. All right. I'm wondering if the only time I don't check Facebook is probably the time that I don't go live there. We shall see. Let me look real quick. I don't know that I can do anything in the middle of the live stream. Nope, I am live on Facebook. Okay. Hi there, Ty. So glad to have you. Thanks for popping in. Always appreciate when my Twitch people pop in to watch me paint. Okay, y'all, so we have the basic rough block, or the rough dry or drawing. Now what I want to do is take a pretty big brush. So I'm going to take, I think, this one, which is probably a 1-inch flat brush, maybe 1 1/4 inch, and block in the big kind of blocks. So I want to look at the darks and the lights so that we get the darkest points on the canvas and then our lightest points. That will allow us to get our values in between the darkest and the lightest correct. So the darkest point, if I squint my eyes on this painting, is right here, this shadow under this rock. And then this shadow right here under the reflection of the boulder, and the shadow under this, and then a little bit over here. There's also kind of a similar area with these shadows or reflections here where it's reflecting the sky, but it's darker because we're looking more direct. So we're actually looking here in the front, we're looking through the water. So the sun is not, or the light is not reflecting off the top of the water. So we're seeing the bottom of this lake, where back here we're seeing actually the reflection of the sky because the light is kind of bouncing off of or refracting from the top of the water. So all that, I know you didn't expect a physics lesson, but these are helpful things to think about why we're seeing what we're seeing and why our eye perceives it that way. So I'm going to mix some raw sienna with some ultramarine blue right here. This should give us a really dark color. This will give us hopefully the darkest part of our painting. So all right, let me see what I can do. Okay, want to come in here, kind of put in that dark there. There's some there as well. And then it starts back over here and goes along there. There's some in there. And then there's some dark there. And I'm going to kind of spread some of this around back in here. This will all be painted over, but there's good shadow areas in the brush. I'll put in some there on the rocks. Okay, now we have our darkest spots laid in really fast like that. Now we want the same, basically that same color, but just a little bit lighter. So we mix the same blue and brown. While I'm mixing this, those of you who are interested, there is a new vlog out on this morning, published a new vlog out on the channel if you're interested. I shared my favorite tradition of the fall, which is the first day of making chili. So my chili recipe is revealed this week on the vlog. So if that's of interest to you, definitely check that out. All right, we're going to put some additional, I just added a little white here just to give us a little reflection, kind of that mid-tone. So it's the same as this darker color, but it's lighter, and we'll just put that up on the stones as well. There's maybe some of this in here. All right. Then I think if this canvas is just really sucking up the paint even more than the panels usually do. I forgot how quickly that sucks up the paint. Okay. Now let's, whoops, that's a little too blue. Let's take a little more brown, cut the blue. Put some more. Brown here on the palette. Oh, y'all are there. Maybe that'll help on the palette. I didn't realize I was kind of out of frame there a little bit. Let's lighten this up with a little white and bring in some, nope, that's too, we'll put kind of this mid-tone in. I think it needs more brown. Yeah, there you go. A little more white. Getting down to the end of my white. Okay. Let's see. There we go. That's more the color of our mid-tone there of the rocks. So we'll just put big broad strokes over there. So we get the feeling of these rocks. Okay. Now we want to lighten this up significantly because we want to bring in kind of our water, and it's pretty bright where the light is reflecting off the sky. And we'll mix a little bit of this again, a little bit darker in tone. We'll put our mountains back in there. Okay, now we want to do, I'm just going to do back and forth strokes for the sky. We're just going to get a first layer in, some darker tones up in here, just to cover the canvas a little bit. Then we need to bring the white really in. We'll see how it works out. I think in December, I'm going to do a bunch of holiday themed paintings, so be looking forward to that. If you are one who loves the holidays and celebrates the holidays, I have some reference photos I found and some interesting things I want to try. Some kind of winter themed paintings, some holiday. I want to do a series of paintings that are called nostalgia. That's kind of like elicits the nostalgia of the holidays. So more to come on that. Man. This will take, we'll need multiple of all of these steps. We'll need multiple layers as we usually do. So we'll move around the painting. I'm going to try to do some things. I'm not sure, because I don't want to just paint the painting as it is. I want to kind of do something a little artistic with it. So, but I'm not sure exactly how to do it. So we will experiment a little bit. We will see what we can do. Because I still want the feeling, kind of that ethereal feeling. For this painting, but I do want to kind of direct the eye a specific way, but I'm not sure exactly how to do that. Okay. Not sure if this is going to, oh, I think this will work. Just doing kind of a mid-tone kind of mix of raw or burnt sienna, yellow ochre, raw umber to darken it a little bit, and then the blue to ultramarine blue to cut some of the red in the umber, or sienna, sorry. Okay, I like this color. We just need to keep building that out. There's a little bit of this color up in here, so we'll just kind of cover that. And then up on the hill, there's some of this. Okay. We're starting to get the feeling, aren't we? Wonder what's going on tonight. We have fewer people than we usually do in. Must be a busy night for people. Or it was just a hectic Monday and everybody's exhausted. Maybe that's it too. Okay, so let me turn this so you can kind of see. I'll pull you back a little bit so you can see what we're doing. Whoop, whoop. Let me go there. Okay, so we have the basic composition in, and you can see the rough outlines, but with very basic brush strokes and without any detail, you can start to see it coming in. So, yeah, that is this is what we're going to work with. I'm happy with where it is. So now let me bring you back in. There we are. And we will start working on this a little more, making some more decisions. One thing that I'd like to do is I think I want to make this sky a little more stormy, and a little less like it is. I want to make it a little more dramatic. I think I also want to try to see if I can really put the focal point on this rock formation over here and not do as much over here, so that there's more detail, more precision over here. That way the eye is drawn more concretely that direction, if that makes sense. All right. Now, what do we want to move? So we did the sky. It's pretty dry, but it's a little tacky. We put some stuff on some of the ground in. I think maybe we go back to the water and kind of work on that a little bit. Let's see. Let's draw out this dark shadow color and really get precise about where we're going to put the shadow. Okay. Let me come in here and just get really draw this in, because the more precise or the more specific we can be, with those darks, then the lights will really fit around them. So let's take it back there. There's some here. I think we'll darken these corners a little bit more than the reference photo is, again, to draw the eye into the painting. So we'll make some of those decisions now. Put a lot more shadow down in here than is in the reference photos. Whoop. I think I'm going to put a lot of this back, put shadow really deep into there. We'll put some suggestions of shadows. As soon as we start to drop shadows in, we start to get form. So that's good. Then it's like, what do we do with that form afterwards? That's the question. Okay. So we have some shadows in. Now I want to come in and do the same thing. Oh, I didn't tell y'all. I think I told y'all I did my second, and some of you may have seen it on Instagram, my second commission, or third commission, but second with the same collector. That was I had painted a bowl of tomatoes from her garden probably a month or two ago, and then she asked me to paint a plate of potatoes. She was putting these in her kitchen, and she got the paintings, but then sent me a picture of the paintings in the frames. So I've now seen my artwork the first time in frames, because I don't frame any of my artwork. You'll notice the stuff, well, hold on, I'm going to move your camera for a minute. All the stuff I have up on my walls is just, the canvases. But now I've seen a couple of my paintings in frames, and it's funny, when she sent it to me, I said, oh, it looks so much more like, it feels so much more official, or like it just looks amazing. So that made me really happy. All right, just working on some of this water. How do I want it? I think it's going to come back in here. I think I'm going to bring the water all the way out to the viewer or the observer, so that it's really, we're going to make this a lot more shadowy. I like that. Just take that into shadow. We'll have to do 2 or 3 layers of this anyway. And then we'll do detail work where the ripples are on top of each other. But that way, we kind of get the initial, again, just constantly adjusting my composition and all that. Okay. Now we want to take this and go much lighter up in here. Okay, let's move this back a little bit so you can kind of see, hopefully, more. See a little bit more of the painting. So you can tell I'm adjusting the coastlines, and then this is going to be, I want a lot of this I want the eye drawn in here. So we're going to come in with some the lightest sky. Again, we want the eye drawn up over here. So we want the lightest, the most contrast right here. And just by putting our sky in, all of a sudden we're starting to see some mountains back there which don't even exist. But by putting contrast, they will appear. And then I'm just going to kind of create a sky and some contrast and some layers and clouds that aren't in the original. Yeah, I just like how it's wonder if my lights kind of there, that helps a little bit, doesn't it? You guys get a better view the camera adjusts better. That's more like what I'm seeing with the light on it. It's hard because now I feel like I'm working in the dark a little bit, so I'll have to turn the camera or the light on in a minute, but I wanted you to kind of see. Notice how just putting in I still haven't done any detail work, and I'm still just using a pretty big filbert brush, and I'm just kind of like doing random strokes. But by putting contrasting clouds in there, putting some shadows into the rocks, this is obviously only about 3 colors on there. The dark color, the mid-tone, and kind of this reddish brown. All of a sudden you see, oh, that we're being drawn in, our eye is being drawn in this way towards here. All of this, and this is what's creating that, because it's not there, or it's just hinted at in the reference photo. But that's kind of the artistic part of it, is where do we want the viewer's eye to go, and how sophisticated and nuanced is our path to get them there. So art can be kind of like driving. Lots of people can drive, but are you a Formula One driver? Are you are you an everyday driver? Are you a once every 6 months driver? And what are you driving? Like, what kind of vehicle gets you there? All of those things are interesting to think about as an analogy for art. Like, where are we and how are we getting there? What are the tools as an artist? How can I advance my ability to draw the viewer's eye into the painting, and then make it something that's interesting for them to look at. Okay, I think I want to come back to the sky. Take our blue and our brown again, kind of make a really dark, our dark color. Maybe for New Year's I will. For 2022, I say every time I sit down here, I say, oh, I need to get my paints organized. Maybe this coming year I will get them hung up on a board. That would be really cool, wouldn't it? To have them off to my side. I'd love to have them to the right here on this table, all within reach but kind of out of camera, so that that way I don't have to have them in my workspace over on the left hand side. I'd really like to, what I need to get is a boom arm for my camera, so I can have it attached kind of like my reference screen is. But ooh, that's really dark. Let's see what that does. I don't know that that's going to be good. But if I get a boom arm, then I can put my camera up and not out on a tripod. These yeah, this canvas is soaking up the paint so fast that it's hard to even do anything. But okay, I'm going to turn on this light again just so I can kind of see what's going on. I apologize, that kind of makes it out of balance for you because this looks like a bright blue on your screen. But okay. This will be good. All right, all right. We are about 45 minutes in. So let's take a little breather. Let me step back and look at what I like about this and what I don't like. Let me pull y'all back a little bit so you can kind of see what I'm looking at. Let me turn this off. That might help. Okay. Actually, I'll put you all kind of straight on so you can look at it as directly as possible, because that's kind of what I am looking at typically. All right. I think we're going in the right direction. What do you all think? Any thoughts based on my goals for this painting? I think if I keep the areas of highest contrast on this piece of rock and around it, like right in this area, then it's going to turn out a good painting. I think you're on the right track. Thanks, Lola. Yeah, I think if I keep this the area of highest contrast, meaning the most distinction between the darkest and lights on this piece of rock. Over here, I can still have the contrast, how we do, with the darks and lights, but they almost need to be diffused with, or, not as high a chroma as this, because then it's going to read as if this is a little bit closer, which I think in the picture it is. This seems like a little bit closer than this, but this will seem more close to the viewer. It'll have more detail. I won't do as much detail work over here, do much more detail work there. And then I think, have darker clouds over here, so this kind of disappears into the back of the canvas and dark shadows down here, and really dramatic, so the lightest part of the light is up here. I think it could work. That's the only thing. You all will have to keep me on track too, because that's the only thing when you start differing, or differing from your reference. When I start messing with things like light and shadow, you can have where it looks like the light is coming from this direction, but the light source on the painting is actually in this direction, or vice versa. So you'll really have to keep me on track as I put contrast into the sky, that it makes sense for, I think we'll be fine because it's a cloudy day and it's a cloudy scene and it's diffused light, but that's probably going to be our biggest challenge as we go forward. All right, now I think what I want to do is I'll bring you all back to the side. And then often I forget to take photos. And I never go back and take it out of the video, but I wish I had taken a photo at the beginning when it was just the drawing. But that will be all right. Hopefully enough distinction will be made in the next hour. Oh, I had a snack right before I came up here, and I was eating some very salty chips. So now I'm like really thirsty. I used to always have a drink at my station, and then somewhere along the way I quit bringing the drink up, and now I'm thirsty. Oh well, we will get through this together. I'll survive my thirst. Okay. Turn the light back on. Sorry that's so... There, maybe that'll help a little bit. Okay. Now, I think what I want to do, I'm going to, I think, switch to... Well, maybe I'll stick with the... Maybe I'll stick with or I could try this. I think I'm going to try this brush, which is kind of a stippled brush. It's for doing detail work on trees or rocks. Let me try that over on this side and see if it messes with if it's too much detail. think what I want is a brown kind of a medium brown. We'll do that. Just kind of blot in some of this color. As it comes back to us, we'll make it a little bit darker. So that it's a little too much blue, I think. These are just going to be suggestions of some stones over here. Same, I'll bring it over on this side as well for the stones back here. We won't do much more detail than this. In that background area, because we just want it to kind of disappear off the canvas a little bit. Yeah, I just want these to just be suggestions. Because I want to be able to come basically along this line and just put a little bit of highlight on and for it to render as 3D. Okay. That's looking very green on the screen. It's still pretty blue, huh? Let me add some more brown here. Hi, Mom and Dad. So glad you swung in. Not sure if you've been here or just got here, but we're trying to adjust to make this the focal point of the image. And so I'm trying to recess this side into the shadows, different than what the reference photo shows. Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. Okay, now I actually don't think I'm going to do the stipple brush. I think I'm going to instead use a dagger brush or angle brush. I like how this is. It needs just a little bit of distinction or differentiation in the just needs some suggestion of good to see you, Marta. Thanks for swinging in. I wondered if everybody had a crazy Monday. People are starting to pop in. So grab some dinner or your drink or whatever and join the party. Okay, I want to have a little bit of indication of these rocks in the background, but I don't want very much detail at all. So I'm just kind of taking a little bit, raising the chroma of this mixture just a tad with white, adding white, just so it gives the illusion of some lighter spots. I do want to suggest these formations again, but I don't want it to be I don't want it near as in focus as it is in the reference photo. All right. I think that does what I want it to do. I'll do a little more detail work. The key, I think, on this side, on this left-hand side, is choosing which detail to really highlight. What detail is it that we key on here is also not to, what am I trying to say? Not to overdo things. Okay, now that's disappearing into the background, which is good. That's kind of what we want. But I want to come in with the dark shadow. Okay. And I want to, if I can be pretty precise about this, then it's really going to do more is less, basically. And it's really going to give us a good strong coastline. Which will really help us when it comes to the water. All right. This makes me happy, y'all. Let me hold it up so you can, whoops. Let me mute the reference photo for a minute so you can just see. Okay, notice adding just the contrast of the shoreline really makes, without a lot of detail work. I mean, if I hold it up close, there's not, I mean, look, there's no detail work on those rocks. They're just blobs of paint. But from a distance, they look right. So that's the intent we're going with. That's what we're trying to do. Whoops. Let me turn this way. There. Maybe that'll help. Okay. Now, what do I want to do? I think I do want to keep working on this side now. Come in and add some contrast to the other side of this painting. So we want some really dark shadow, almost black. I want to come in and put in the darkest spots again. This is going to be right at the base of the rocks. think this is going to be too bright, but we will see. Maybe not. I'm just mixing some of this brown with the blue. Darkening it down with blue and dark brown over here, just to make it less refined. And we'll just put just the suggestion of some, oops, that's really dark. It's a good, some of this, just suggesting some color in some of these shadow areas, that there might be some growth in there. There. All right, we got about 20 minutes to get this bad boy on a roll. Okay, I want to get at least some detail work done on the rock or on the um, this boulder, and then I want to do one more swipe of the sky. So that's kind of what I want to do at least yet this evening. Then I need to spend some time in the studio finishing paintings. Just within my eyesight, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and this will be 8 paintings that we've worked on over the last few live streams that I have not actually finished. So that means there's work to be done. Okay. Now, I think what I need is, it's tough when you're using basically the same exact color palette, grays and browns in different shades for all of these. I think that's why I picked this, because the challenge for this painting, like, okay, it's like, how do I distinguish this? Okay, let me take a little bit. I want a little bit more, maybe a tad of yellow. A bit more brown. I want it gray, but I want more brown for the rock. Because I want to come in here and start really honing this rock, the shape of it. So basically, I put in a big block of shadow there. So now, like a sculptor, I'm just coming in and trying to carve out what I want to see of this rock. The key with rocks is we want variation. You know, we want different colors. I want significant amount more red tone. All right, we're starting to see some form come out, aren't we? So bring more of this brown. This is the fun part to me because it really is like sculpting the planes of the rocks. Figuring out where they go, how to make them so they look organic and not formulaic. So many tones in stones that you don't pay attention to or you don't notice till you really start to paint them, and then you're like, oh, that's a lot. There's a lot more brown or blue or purple or red, whatever color, or green in that stone. And I think that's what makes it believable, is if you get those right. Okay, I'm starting to lose it. Meaning I'm starting to lose the contrast in here. I'm going too bright, too much. Yeah, it's too much. Too much blue. See, this whole chunk looks like a big blue blob. Okay, I'm going to step back again for just a minute and take a look. Okay, I generally like the composition. I like where it's going. What am I missing, y'all? What am I not seeing? There's what it looks like without the light. What's not working from your perspectives? Anything not working or that you wish I would change or you see that I need to change? Hey, Jasmine, thanks for popping in. I'm just trying to figure out what's missing or what is wrong with this picture. Let me turn the light away a little bit. What does it still need? I like the more stormy skies than are in the actual reference photo. I like how that adds a little drama to the picture, the painting. I think I'm going to do another layer of the sky and just define some of these lines better so that these rock formations stand out from the background, but I don't want to bring them too far forward. And then I do want to put some really light um, mountains like are in the reference photo back there, and maybe some more clouds. Oh, wow, Lola, that's high praise coming from you. Great. Yeah, the reason I ask is because I'm just not really sure. I kind of feel like I want something that really makes the picture, the painting special, something that, but maybe it's the mood because I wanted to evoke the feeling of this. I want you to feel like you're sitting there by this lake in the fall in the Scottish Highlands. It's kind of cold and damp and dreary, and um, the only thing I really think is maybe refining again even more so some of these contrasts in the shadows, maybe actually bringing some actual black into here to really make those divisions stand out, and then doing the few bits of highlight that are very, that are just parts of the rock. I think I could do that before we go because I just need to basically take that same color but lighten it with some white. And this is going to be really, we're just going to have to be very careful how we do this because we don't want a lot, but there's a white spot on this rock. I don't want them to like pop out like way off the, but let's see. There's some there. I don't want these to read as highlights. I want them to read as part of the rock. That's the thing. Okay. There. How does that look? That makes this kind of pop a little more, doesn't it? Whoops. There, just give the illusion that there's ripples in that water. That looks better, doesn't it? Already, just... I don't want to go overboard. I think that almost did. Yeah. I like this. I like it a lot. Okay. I think that's where we are for tonight. Let's say well done for this evening. I like where this one is going. I actually like the... Yeah, I just like it. Okay. Whoops. There you can see my face. And I can see y'all. Well, not really, but... Okay. This is the finished project or product. Not bad for how it turned out. And... Oh, I asked you to remind me, but I wanted to show you all. Sorry, I just didn't want my paintbrush standing on its end. The lighthouse. So remember I was doing the big red. I did some additional detail work on this one. I added back the windows and the railing on the top and a few other things. So that one is pretty much ready. Then I did this other one that I'm not sure where this is located, but it was a fun one to do. Let me tilt it so you can get some light on it. And then this is the one I worked on most recently. It's the most detailed. Still needs some work, I think, to refine it. But it had most of these lighthouses have small, like, tenant's cottage or something. But this one has a fairly large house attached to it. So it clearly, not sure the reason or why, but perhaps the person who tended the lighthouse had a full family or something, but that was a fun one to do. Still working on that one. Want to refine it maybe a little more, but these other two, I want to get a glaze on them so I can begin using them. So I just need to figure out what I'm going to do to wrap that up. But thank you. Excuse me. Thank you for hanging out with me for a couple hours tonight. It was a lot of fun. Like I said, as we head into December after Thanksgiving, I'm going to start doing some more holiday themed paintings. So keep an eye out for that. If you are interested in following the vlog, I did upload a brand new vlog episode today, this morning, that includes my favorite chili recipe and the alterations that I make to it. So I actually made the chili, and you get to kind of walk through the process with me, and then I tell you why and which alterations I make. But the recipe is there in the description of the video. So if you're looking for a new chili recipe to try this fall, definitely do that. That's one of my favorite traditions once it starts getting cooler, is to pull out my soup recipes and try different soups. So check that out. The next couple of weeks on the vlog will be a tour of my apartment. I haven't done yet a full tour of the apartment. First, I got to clean it. So I'm going to be cleaning over the next day or so, and then I'm going to film that and edit it for next week. And then I'm going to do an update video, everything that's happened since the robbery. So 4, 5, 6 months ago, I did those first videos about the robbery, what was going on, was still in kind of the crisis of it. A lot of that has subsided, so that will be probably in 2 weeks. So keep an eye out for those videos. If you don't already subscribe, please feel free to do so and click the bell icon so you are notified of new videos. Otherwise, join me any time you can, usually Monday evenings, 6 p.m. Mountain Time for the live stream. So great to have you all again. Thank you for spending time with me. Episode 45 in the can, and we are headed towards 52. Want to get to a full year as quickly as possible. So we are trucking right down that path, and we'll be back next week for episode 46. I'll see you then. Have a great evening and take care.